Hi, everybody. Welcome to Foundation class, day 1 of 6 days. So we're doing it a little bit differently. We're doing it in 4-hour bite-sized bits. So what else is possible? We're trying it out differently. You can come with your questions, whatever questions, and we'll see if we can integrate the manual with whatever questions come up. And when you guys don't have a question, we're going to the manual. So I am Annie Choi. Most of you already know me. I've been a certified facilitator for a little over a year now. So I'm so excited to be doing Foundation for the first time in this facilitator cycle. So things have been different, so different since the track change. So back in February of this year, we had almost 3,000 people contributing to something different in the world. And guess what happened? The world changed tracks, the whole world. So that's when COVID really started taking off. That's when this reality started showing up. And I'm not sure if you got a sense of that, but this reality is different. There's certain things that I noticed that I'm like, wow, that was never here before in the old reality. So every time you notice there's something different, what if you could acknowledge it and then acknowledge how aware you are? So this class, Foundation, is going to open you up to so much more awareness. Don't be scared. Don't freak out. How does it get any better than this? And awareness means awareness of everything, including the not so good, maybe the good, the bad, the ugly, as Christopher Hughes always says. So I'm so excited. Yes, I am excited. I'm so excited to have all of you here and to see what other changes we can create in our lives and also the lives of everybody around us, and what change can we be in the world, the whole world. And if you really want to shoot for the stars, what change can you be in the universe? Okay, so I'm just gonna really quickly read the intro section of the Foundation. The purpose of access is not to destroy this reality. The purpose of access is not to fight this reality. The purpose of access is not to see the wrongness of this reality. The purpose of access is not to fix this reality. The purpose of access is to create a different reality. The purpose of access is to create the world as a greater set of choices and a greater set of possibilities so that all of mankind can thrive, and to empower you with what you know. The purpose of access is to make you aware of what you're aware of. So, opening comments by Gary Douglas. What would it be like if the world were a more conscious place? Would the devastations, wars, and the difficulties that are going on now continue to exist? In the face of consciousness, these things cannot exist. The target of access is to get us to the point where we are conscious enough to create change in ourselves so that we can increase the possibility of changing the trauma, drama, and insanities that are present in life. What would it be like if you embodied so much consciousness in everything that you did that others chose to become more conscious as a result of you? What if you were the inspiration for a greater possibility? You are the source for creating the change that you desire. but you have to be willing to be it. Consciousness is the possibility to eliminate all the created walls of separation. What will it take for this to become a reality here on planet Earth? All it takes is for you to choose you. Okay, so the foundation. Welcome to the foundation. The purpose of this class is to change the foundation off of which you are currently living. So what are we going to do for these next 6 days? Shatter your reality or what you believe your reality is. You may want to take a silent moment with you and your reality right now and go, in the words of Dr. Dane here, bye-bye. Because this will change you, your reality with your body and all kinds of things. Be willing to realize that it's your choice whether you let this stuff go. What we're trying to do is de-solidify the foundation of your reality so you can create something greater, so you can actually have a sense of space. You know, those days when you wake up and it seems like everything is easy, everything is flowing, everything is like, oh God, this is going to be awesome until I lose in about 3 hours. You know what? What if you didn't have to lose it anymore? If you didn't lose it, how else would you pretend you're part of your family and pretend like you're everybody else when you know you're not? I mean, let's face it, you're the weirdest person you've ever met. You know? Okay. So what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as the pretense that you are not the greatness that you've always known you should be, but never seem to be able to achieve? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Okay, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyond. And then we went over the jails clearing during bars class. So please ask questions. A question empowers the whole class, not just you. When you have the ability to ask a question, it's because you're the only one with enough brain power at the moment. Okay, so there's no such thing as a stupid question, only stupid people who don't ask questions. Okay. So on that note, like anytime you have a question that pops up, feel free to type it in the chat or unmute and just ask the question. It doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of a sentence, you can ask the question. Okay, so this class is all about consciousness. And consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. So one of the things that have been, one of the new things that have been talked about in Access is actually embracing all the parts of you, including what you consider the darkness or evil or bad. So what we've been uncovering is all the places where we actually think we're bad and we're trying to hide it because, you know, you're not supposed to show how bad you are, right? But what if for the next 6 days, we're open to all of the parts of us? And even the parts where we perceive we're bad, we're wrong, we're evil, and embrace it. So that doesn't mean that you're going to do things that are evil. It just means that you're not in judgment of it and you're just, okay, so that's a part of me. Is it really evil? Like, if you had no judgment of it, is it just space? Is it just energy? Is it just a part of you that was there? Or maybe even something that you bought from other people? Okay. So what percentage of your life are you actually willing to be totally conscious and present with and in? So is that 3%, 5%, 7%, 10%? 12%, 15%, 20%, 30%, 40%, or less? And everything that brings up, time for Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as only being aware to the degree that requires you to not kill yourself by your choices are you choosing? Everything that is. Time for Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. 20%. So, does anybody have any questions?
My mind is already. I don't have words for this.
Yeah, so the foundation has a certain energy to it. And if you would lower your barriers, you can receive more from it. So my question would be, what would you like to receive from this foundation? Whether it's to change your relationships or your money or your body or your business or your career or even your connection with the planet, with the earth. You can ask for anything. So,
Can I tell you?
yes.
I would like to become the person that I know I can be with my business and create my vision. And I am resisting it and hiding and avoiding it, so I would like to be it.
Okay. So, are you already being it?
Not fully. I am partly being it, just like maybe 10%.
Okay. So, it's great. Flora's like, great one, me too. Okay. So what are the parts, that 10% that you actually are already being it?
Sorry?
Of that 10% that you're already being. What happens when you expand it out and expand it through all of you and expand it to all the spaces where you don't believe you're being it? And then when there's something that comes up like a limitation or a solidification, that part of you that's already being it, what if you expand it out to that limitation? And then keep expanding? Okay, so how's that?
It's the fear that was stopping me, but I am recognizing that it's actually excitement, not fear.
Yes. So what happens when you expand the excitement?
It's like unbelievable that I can receive that. It's so much to receive. Can I really receive that?
Can you?
Yeah.
Yes, it's like, and it's a choice to expand instead of contract.
Thank you.
Okay. So everywhere we've been using contraction of space as a way of creation. Will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, poc, all nine tricks, boys and beyonds. So again, everywhere you've been using contraction of space as a way of creation instead of actually expanding and turning yourself up and showing up and shining up even more, would you destroy and uncreate that? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, poc, all nine tricks, boys and beyonds. And what energy, space, consciousness, and choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you see to totally expand your greatness to everyone and everything around you, no matter what, with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, poc, all nine shirts, boys, and beyond. Okay. So thank you for that. Okay. So Laura, did you have something similar? Yes.
Yes, yes. That's actually, I feel it a lot that I'm so close to become who I wanted to become, and then yet I still have a lot of barriers. So when I'm aware, I just do the command, put my barriers down, and I've been trying. I haven't been expanding much, but yeah, this is so helpful. So when you expand, you feel like, yes, it's just a feeling of the tightness that goes in your chest. I mean, at least for me, it's like, ugh, that contraction is like, this is not me. And, the exercise of expanding like constantly, it will help us to get into that space and poke and pot everything that shows up.
Yeah.
Right? Thank
Yeah.
you. That is,
Cool.
thank you, Judita. That was great. So good for me too.
So that brought up, so this is great because when everybody's talking and asking a question, it brings up a certain energy. And then once in a while, I'm getting better at this, but I can put words to that energy. So there's a clearing that came up. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared, of always believing that you'll never live up to expectations are you choosing? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, poc, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Okay.
Could
So
you
that's
repeat
part of
the question? Sorry, could you repeat the question again?
Yes, Annie, can you repeat it, please?
We're gonna have to find an oracle soon. So, what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared, of always believing that you'll never live up to expectations are you choosing? Oh, and everything that is times I got silly and only destroy and create it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, lock, all nine trips, boys and beyond. Okay. So there's the clearings, the right and wrong clearings. What's right about good about me? Am I choosing? So let me see if I can find it really quick.
I saw one process here exactly about being the greatness. It's not in the manual, like page 7.
Yeah, we actually we read that part in the beginning.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Yes. The JLC are using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as the pretense that you are not the greatness that you've always known you should be, but never seem to be able to achieve. Oh,
Yes.
right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. And it's cool because, oh, you know what? Right and wrong is the next section. There you go. How does it get any better than that? So what we've discovered is that people look for the reason why they chose something over, or the justification for why they choose something, as though the reason and justification is why you can't choose, as though you can't choose without the reason and justification for why you chose what doesn't work. That's kind of a mind twister. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as always seeing that which you choose as right or wrong to determine what you can choose as your future, which eliminates the choice of possibilities you actually truly are you choosing? And everything that is times I got silly and will you destroy it and uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Okay. How many of you have known you are not like everybody else, but you keep trying to prove that you are? And everything that is times the Godzillion, will you destroy and create it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Okay. All right, so they're right. So there's a set of clearings that Anne Maxwell has created called the rightness processes. And that's what's just popping right now. So here are a couple that's really, really popping. Okay, so what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as always having to be all right or all wrong as the only choice in life and living that keeps you from choosing a totally different reality with no conclusions than anyone else can have? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and create it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Ooh. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as always having to be all right or all wrong as the only choice in life that keeps you from being and choosing a totally different reality with no conclusions than anyone else can have? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and create it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Ooh, okay, and what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared to prove the rightness of your point of view as the reason and justification for all lack of communion that actually is possible in life and living, And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as the necessity of always getting it right, of never being wrong, of having the right answer, of having the right conclusion, and of getting the right result that makes it impossible to actually create your life because you're too busy getting it right? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as the necessity of always getting it right, of never being wrong, of having the right answer, of having the right conclusion, and of getting the right result that makes it impossible to actually create your life because you're too busy getting it right. And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay. And hi, Jamal, welcome. We're kind of just jumping right into it. Okay, and so if you have any questions at all, just feel free to type it in the chat or unmute and then just ask your question. All questions, all comments are welcome. Okay, so being right is the way you learn to fight against everything that would give you total ease in life. That's from Gary Douglas. And one of the things that Dr. Dane here has been talking about actually is righteousness. So it's really funny because all of these things are just like popping, and everything that other people and that other facilitators are talking about are so relevant in what's happening and what's going on right now. And that's just how consciousness works, where someone's speaking about something and then it actually relates to something else, and it's all contributing to more consciousness on the planet. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions? Now, the awareness of it. So was that on the rightness and wrongness clearing? Yeah.
Totally. That was just like, oh my God. And something just in Portuguese we say a ficha caiu, like when you put a coin in the machine and the coin drops and you finally realize.
How do you say it again?
A ficha caiu.
A ficha caiu.
Caiu, yes. Okay. Caiu is to fell.
Ah, a ficha caiu. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for the spelling for. Okay. So that also brought a okay. This is so great. I think I'm just gonna read the whole thing that so if you're part of the Be Different, Stay Weird group, once in a while Dane posts something. So this is what Dane posted. We just finished the Symphony of Possibilities class, and to say that everything is different would be a bit of an understatement. We left into spaces and places that have yet to be explored, and part of it is because the things that we were getting to were the insidious and refined limitations and judgments that keep us from having total freedom. These places are often the places we won't look to create change because we are beyond being right and having them. We are righteous. We have it so right that we have this thing called righteousness laced into our point of view and tied with a perfectly crafted bow. One of the things we create our righteousness is through what we buy from our family. Well, we make that reality, right or wrong, and turn it into the very thing we must fight against or protect. Regardless of what side of the coin you are, you have made it your primary reality, and thus righteousness is born. One of the things that I invite people in class was to not judge their righteousness, but to enjoy it. I know, Dana's being weird again. This was to invite the class not to go into the judgment of them for their righteousness so that they could stay in the possibility of changing it. I ask that you will do the same. Start asking for all the places that you are functioning from righteousness to expose itself to you so that you can become aware of what is possible to change. Judging you will only slow down what is possible for you to choose. Okay, I'm adding a clearing here so that you can start to unravel some of this. Thank you for you and all your being and changing in the world. I'm so grateful you exist. And that's from Dane here. So this is the process that he gave. How many myths and archetypes of family, parents, children, and relationships are you using to create the righteousness against which you must resist and fight by proving that it is wrong and proving that it is right, even though and because you have chosen it as your primary reality, are you choosing? That's so light. Everything that brings up times a Godzillion. Let's just join and create it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, forth, and beyond. So there's 6 of us here. Oh, 7. Because there's Martin with Jadita. So every time we say a clearing, it's actually, we're actually clearing an additional, let's see how much it is. I have to take my calculator. So it's actually close to 2 million people. So we're clearing the points of views regarding all of this stuff on 2 million other people around the world. So that's how much change we're creating. And that's why Gary and Dane are so grateful every time someone takes the class, because that means that a lot of other people are clearing that. And when something changes, it's because the points of views about it are cleared. So you can choose something different. So making and choosing to clear all of this will create a great change in the world. So thank you for that. So how many myths and archetypes of family, parents, children, and relationships are you using to create the righteousness against which you must resist and fight by proving that it is wrong and proving that it is right, even though and because you have chosen it as your primary reality, are you choosing? And everything that brings up times a Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, boys, and beyond. So what's another thing that you guys would like to change? Anything?
I think like neutralizing everyone else's judgment and people who think they are always right and cannot change this point of view. It's like they don't want to see different realities and they believe that their own is the truth and they try to impose this to other people.
Oh, yes. So that's one of the things that came up during a recent class. Imposing points of views and impelling points of views. Okay, so first we'll talk a little bit. So if you are an infinite being, would anyone's judgment affect you? Yes. So this is one of the tools. Every time someone judges you, what if you received $5,000 more? Then you'd be like, please judge me more. Thank you for the money. Thank you very much. Judge me more, please. And then turn it up. And how much more fun is it when, instead of, oh my gosh, that person's judging me, let me change how I be in the world. Or, okay, that person's judging me. Okay, let me receive it so I get $5,000. So, and then you're actually grateful for the judgment. And it's not forcing yourself to be grateful. It's actually fun because, oh, you know what? They're judging me and I'm receiving money. Okay, great.
Yes, because of the receiving.
Yes.
Cool.
So it actually is a great way to trick your mind into receiving because you're like, oh, cha-ching. And it takes a practice and a choice. And afterwards, I would recommend saying, how does it get any better than this? So why don't we try that? So everybody think about someone or a judgment that was impelled at you or imposed on you. And if you went beyond how heavy it is and actually expanded and turned yourself up and received it and said, thank you for the $5,000. Okay. Do you get a sense of how different it is from like, oh, it's a judgment, I have to make myself smaller, to, oh, I can expand, I can receive it, and it's fun. And it takes like a second. So in the face of judgment, turn yourself up. It's actually, there's a story about Brendan Watt. He does a lot of classes. He does the online bars class every year and the choice of possibilities. He's an Australian citizen and he's trying to move to Houston, and his visa ran out. He had to go to Mexico for some time until he can get his visa arranged. So when he finally got it settled, he was able to go to Houston again. And when everybody found out, um, Brendan impels his points of view. And his main point of view that he impels is that he wants everything around him to be beautiful. So the difference with imposing and impelling is that when you're imposing a point of view, you're like, it doesn't matter what anyone else's points of views are. My point of view is what matters. And then it's kind of this energy of like pushing everything down and like making sure I'm right, and that righteous energy, right? And then with impelling, there's no sense of trying to prove that it's your point of view. It's just, well, this is my point of view. This is how I be. This is how everything around me should be. And it's a different space where people are actually invited to contribute to that. So when everybody found out he was coming, Gary Douglas was like making all the preparations. They bought him a new car. So they had like a car prepared, and then his Airbnb that he's staying at, the maids came in, they shined all the silver, they made sure everything was beautiful, they put flowers, and they were happy to do it because whatever they were contributing was being received. So it's like, have you ever done something for someone and you felt so good about doing it? Like, even if it wasn't expected, you were just doing it because it was, that's like when someone has an impelling their point of view and they're also receiving. That's the main point, like the receiving. Because if there's someone who's impelling a point of view, like, oh, you know what, everything should be done this way, and they're impelling it, I expect it this way. And there's a little bit of that imposing energy, but they're not receiving it, they're not grateful for it, then it's so much harder to actually contribute. But Brendan is so kind and generous, and he loves what people contribute to him, and he's so grateful for it that it's so easy to actually do things for him. So he's being him, and he's turning it up, and he's showing up, and he's not letting other people's judgments of him control what he's being and what his points of view are. And he's also, well, I like everything around me to be beautiful. And then the whole universe conspires to contribute in that way, through people, through plants, through animals. And what if you could be like that? And because of who you be, people actually receive when they contribute to you. And that's the gifting and receiving. So they kind of went out on a different train track there. Does anybody have any questions? And does it help when I actually, I have what do you call this? When I have the PDF, the manual on the screen? Would you guys prefer that?
Would you like to share?
Yeah,
we can share screen.
Yes. So do you guys prefer having it like that, or here?
I have a question, Anne.
Okay.
Regarding what you just said about Brendan, make me think, excuse me, that, when you have your point of view, in his case, he decided that he wants everything beautiful around him. But because he it's willing to receive, that's why everybody contributes. But when you decide to have a point of view about something and you're not happy about it, and like, or you're not feeling gratitude, it shuts down somehow the way of you receiving it. Is that what it,
Yeah.
the message? Okay.
So yes, when there's when you don't have gratitude, you could have judgment. So it's like inverse relationship, where if you're in gratitude, there's no possibility of judgment in your universe. But if you don't have the gratitude, then you're in judgment. So, okay, how have you created judgment as the source for knowing what's right and what's wrong and what must be changed in your life and living? Are you choosing? Okay, so that's bringing up something. Everything that brings up times like God, so you know, you destroy and create it all, please. Who, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, voice, and beyond. Okay, and what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can you be to be total gratitude for everything you receive, regardless of what it is? Can you now choose? And everything that is, and everything that doesn't allow that, times like God, so you know, you destroy and uncreate it. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, voice, and beyond. Cool. So how much more can you receive when you're in gratitude? Like
Times a
having
God,
gratitude. Yes.
times a Godzillion.
Yeah. And you look so much happier too. And it's like such a lighter energy. What if you can find like one tiny bit to be grateful for and then allow that to expand over the rest of the thing? So that doesn't mean that, okay, you have to take everything. Like if it doesn't work for you, you have to be honoring of what works for you also. So I saw Judita. Did you have something? I know. Just some movement, camera movement. Okay. Um, so yes, if you, whatever it is that's going on, find the gratitude. And there's another thing that during one of the classes we were talking about is underneath all of the things that's going on. Let's say you go underneath let's like the pain or underneath some emotion. If you go all the way underneath it, there's a space, and it's the beautiful space underneath it all. So what if you get in touch of whatever that space is for you, that lightness, that gratitude, that peace, and it's underneath every single thing that's going on in your life. And if you allow that to expand over whatever it is that you would like to change, so that you can change it from that space instead of whatever it is, like having a judgment or being right. So go underneath that judgment, go underneath that rightness into that beautiful space. And then, okay, oh, I can have gratitude for whatever it is that's going on. Okay, but you know what? It's not working for me. What can I do to change it? Yeah. Cool. And everything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive whenever that is the choice, will you destroy and uncreate it? Oh, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Oh, what energy space, it's right on the screen. What energy space, consciousness, and choice can my body and I be to have total clarity and ease with all of this for all eternity? Everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. When you are frustrated or think you can't handle things anymore, run. This is my favorite. Clearing. Don't run it at all. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can my body and I be to be out of control, out of definition, out of limitation, out of form, structure, and significance, out of linearity, out of concentricities for all of eternity with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that times a Godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POC, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay, this is kind of what we were talking about. Contribution is not a doing. Contribution is an awareness of what you can be and receive at all times. Okay, so
Can we go sorry, just a little
yes.
bit more on that? I would like to clear that stuff if you allow me.
Yes.
So here it is. I suffer from anxiety in a high level, like claustrophobia and all that. I'm so much better than I used to be before, 20 years ago. I work a lot on myself in terms of growing. But sometimes when it comes, like I have to get out of the house. So that is the level of discomfort that I feel.
Okay.
So you said, okay, just go for that place that you like underneath it and try to expand that one. Feel gratitude for that one. And like my question here is like, how can I go from the level of like, oh my God, I cannot see what's going on, or I cannot feel the gratitude, because this is comes like a shorten of breath, you know, like I look for the air and it's not there. And obviously I deep breath a few times and then I feel a little better, but then takes seconds and then I'm right back where I was. In addition to that, what it just gave us, is there any other clearing or any other thing that can be added on that, on like to go there almost like instantaneously? I feel like I need to turn that key on.
Okay. So, okay. With the, when you have that anxiety and then that shortness of breath or that feeling, it's, okay, how many times does it feel like you're expanding and how many times does it feel like it's getting smaller and smaller? Okay.
I feel like it's getting
yes. And it's in your body too, the constriction, and that, you know, like you said, you can't see anything. There's just, you know, what's happening in your body and maybe what's in front of you. Okay. So when that happens, who does it belong to? Just keep asking, who does it belong to? 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 And right now, ask your body, okay, body, how can we have ease with this? How can we have more ease with the awareness we have? How can we have more space with the awareness that we have? And everything and anything that doesn't allow you to have that, especially when the awareness is coming and when it's available and when it's actually here, will you just try and create it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So when did you first experience that?
The high level of anxiety, you mean?
Yes, the claustrophobic feeling.
Probably a
Um,
long time ago, and I can't remember, but I know for sure when I had the panic attack and depression like over 20 years ago, that's when it was like in the highest level, and it was like for a long time in my life. So
okay,
20
so
years ago in my 20s. Yeah.
okay. Um, so just lower the barriers of your thinking mind.
Yes.
Okay, and if you were just to come up with a number, is it under 20 years? Okay, under 15 years?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're like, it's like we're holding each other's hands. Everybody is holding each other's hands, so you're fine. We're not going to let anything happen to you, so we're going to go back to that first time where it was created.
Need to go to my room because my dad is coming in and I want to be here if I need to cry
Okay.
or something. I'm here. I'm good.
By the way, your face is changing. It looks
Yeah.
brighter.
No, I'm definitely feeling it. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it because this is it. When I share with you guys in the beginning of today's call, I meant it. It's just I feel so strongly, but I just feel like it's not quite there yet. So I need to feel the communion with all of you so I can feel like, okay, this space that I'm looking for, it will be there permanently. For now, it's
Yeah.
not. And coincidence or not, I'm in the middle of a crisis. Like, yeah, and it's okay. I just have to be patient and to keep practicing what I've been practicing. So
Your mic is a little bit quiet now. Like,
better.
it's still, is it just me? Or,
It's when I feel constricted, my voice lowers.
okay,
That's the process. So you guys are
okay,
are like watching everything what's happening with me. So thank you for that.
okay, cool. So we're going back to where it started. So is it in this lifetime or a different lifetime?
Maybe it's a different lifetime.
Okay. So have you had so much energy, so much to give? And when it's not received, you feel that constriction, like you have to keep it inside of you.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything that is, all the oaths, vows, fealties, communities, binding and bonding contracts, and marriages that you have, sorry, that you have in this lifetime and any other lifetimes that keep you from gifting all of you and always lead you to keeping all of you inside, will you destroy and uncreate it and revoke, recant, rescind, renounce, announce, destroy and uncreate it times to God's zillion. Okay, so right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Okay, cool. So you are a gift. Everyone is a gift. And not everybody can receive a gift. Some people don't even receive it. Some people bring it back. Other people do receive a gift and they receive it with gratitude. So, what if you can expand out so much to cover the entire world so that you can find those one or two or three or maybe 100 or maybe 1,000 people who can receive you? And you choose to be the gift that you are, that you already be, regardless of who's around you. Because you know, over there on the other side of the world, someone receives you fully. And maybe you creating something or you being that in the world actually ripples to them. So if you knew that there's at least one person, or maybe 500, or maybe 2 billion who are receiving you, would you ever turn yourself down again? No. Okay, so now get in touch with that anxiety, especially when you were whatever that age was when you first experienced it in this. Okay, so now using that tool, imagine every time you weren't received as the gift that you were, to expand it and turn it up. And telling that little girl or little boy, because we do have some men in here, that it's okay. You can be the gift that you be. You can be that energy. And someone somewhere in the world is receiving you right now. You can be it right now. You can show the world. You can show your parents. You can show your brothers or sisters, or even just the people around you. You can show them the gift that you are. And it's okay. And you're safe. Okay. And everything that doesn't allow you to uncover it and to show it totally and fully right now, will you destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Okay.
Oh my God, I need the tissue. I wasn't prepared for this. I'll be right back.
Okay. So for the other sessions, let's have a reminder to have tissues. Okay.
It feels like there's
Yeah.
some part of me that could let go, but still there is something, maybe it's more than one life that I've been carrying. It's not just, and the way I feel it, it's because my voice, like the constriction is
Yes.
still there. Although I had the awareness, I did have the awareness.
Okay.
And thank you for that. It's just that don't worry about this. Just keep going, and eventually things are gonna unfold. I know, and I thank you so much for this right now.
Okay. So, um, even though we say other lifetimes, it's actually, there's no time. So everything is happening all at the same time. So what if what you're clearing now is actually also clearing the past and all the other different dimensions and everything at the same time? Okay. And what if time is what is required for all of that energy to keep unwinding? Okay. So everything that it's bringing up. And the thing that keeps coming up is safety. Like, did you hide to be safe? And did you make yourself smaller to never be found? everything that brings up. And it might not be in this, it could be like in the different realities. So we call it different realities too. So all the different realities where you had to hide, you had to make yourself small to be safe, whether it's to be safe from yourself and your power, or safe from the people around you who might not want you to be. So everything you've done to make yourself small so you can be safe, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. So today, I guess, is us acknowledging and owning how powerful we actually are. So when you breathe in and out, how many molecules are you actually engaging with and changing? A lot, like possibly millions of oxygen coming in your body and being turned into carbon dioxide and then going out and then interacting with everything that it goes out to. And then it interacts with those molecules and then it's like a ripple effect. That's just you breathing. Now when you're conscious about something to change it, like something that happened in the past, it changes so much more. What if you could acknowledge how powerful you are and how much you can actually change? And really acknowledge it. And now when you talk to other people and you say exactly what they required to hear, and because of that, they're happier, and then they affect other people. Can you acknowledge how much you have changed with that? And now, all the things that you're trying to hide, like the magic that you already created as your life, what if you would acknowledge that? You're already creating magic. How much more can you create?
Godzillion.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, all nine shits, boys and beyond. There's something.
You asked how many more magic we can create. So
Yes.
times and Godzillion, infinite.
Okay. Oh, they did make it page 69. It's during the I think Dane was the one. He's like, this used to be page 69. Why is it not page 69? So they made it. 5 elements of intimacy. That's what's popping right now. So and I have no idea what page it is in Portuguese. Okay, 5 elements of intimacy. And then after this, we can take a break. Okay. 5 elements of intimacy are honor, trust, allowance, gratitude, and vulnerability. If you have these elements, you can have an amazing relationship with someone. And that someone includes you. So if you don't, you cannot. Love is not one of them. Love does not create intimacy, it creates judgment. Sex and copulation is not one of them. So, love has a lot of many different meanings with depending on who is saying it. So, a mother saying "I love you" to a child would be different to that same person saying "I love you" to the husband or a significant other, which would be different from how that person is saying it to their parents. So, love has so many different meanings, and it's judged based on who you're saying it to or who you're applying it to. So that's why in Access they don't say love. Usually they replace it with gratitude, because gratitude is the same energy regardless of who you have gratitude for. True gratitude, the gratitude where no strings attached. It's just gratitude. Okay, so you create intimacy by creating an intimate relationship with yourself, by being vulnerable, by trusting yourself, by being an allowance of yourself, and not in judgment of yourself, by honoring yourself, and by having gratitude for you. Without intimacy, you cannot have communion. Communion is the connection with every molecule in the universe. It is the sense of the peace of joy and the joy of peace. So to honor is to treat someone with regard, not with judgment. It's not to treat your mate with disrespect. If you have no judgment of the person you're with and you totally honor who they are, then they get to be who they are. You get to be who you are, and nobody has to judge anybody. That's to honor. So whatever you're going through, whatever you're asking for, honor it. Trust is knowing what the person will do, not deciding what you want them to do. It's knowing that your man is never going to put the toilet seat down. That's trust. It's not the point of view, I'll teach him how to put the toilet seat down. That doesn't work. If you assume the man is never going to put the toilet seat down, you can trust that. Trust is not blind faith. It's knowing that they're going to be the same person tomorrow that they were today. Not thinking that because you love them so much, they will change. And it's also not expecting them to be anything. So it's trust is not, oh, they're this, I'm expecting them to do this. It's just, okay, well, that's the person that they are. Okay, I'll trust that they'll be who they are tomorrow. So there's not really that sense of boxing them or putting them in a certain role. It's weird. But the key part of this is not deciding what you want them to do and moving from deciding and expecting and projecting to knowing. And knowing can change every 10 seconds. Can someone actually make a note of all the sections that we went through already? So let's see what's this. Because I might mix and match it with the afternoon session. So I just remembered. So we went through the introduction, consciousness, some basics, right and wrong, and 4 sources for creation. So now we're going through 5 elements of intimacy. Okay, just so we know that we've done all of the pieces. Okay. Allowance has no point of view. Allowance is, it's all an interesting point of view. Interesting point of view, this person is lying to me. Do they really think I don't know? Allowance is everything they say or do is just an interesting point of view and has no relationship to you. So it has no relationship to you. It might seem like it, but it really, everyone is going through their own, whatever they're going through. Allowance gives you the willingness to be who you are when nobody else is willing to be them. Okay. Gratitude is the place in which you are grateful to the person for showing up in your life, grateful for having them anytime you have them with no judgment. Unlike love, gratitude can only exist without judgment. Love exists because of judgment. When you don't have gratitude for you, you can't have it for another. If you don't have gratitude, you have to judge. If you're grateful for someone in your life, they don't have to be perfect. Okay. Vulnerability is being willing to receive anything, including the fact that the person is an asshole and that you're an asshole sometimes, only sometimes. In vulnerability, you are willing to show up, warts and all, and try not to prove that you are perfect, not to try to prove that you've got it together, but be there with a sense of no walls, no barriers, no wrongness, no rightness. Vulnerability is not about being a doormat. You can say, I'm sorry, that doesn't work for me. That's not acceptable. Okay, so what energy, space, consciousness, and choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can I and my body be to be aware of everything with no point of view for all reality with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can my body and I be to be the honor, the trust, the allowance, the gratitude, and the vulnerability of total presence for all of eternity? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, PON and POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. Okay, and then there's the telecall series, The Elements of Intimacy, for more clarity with this. Okay. So why don't we just acknowledge all the ways where we already are honoring, trusting, in allowance, in gratitude, and vulnerable with ourselves. And with that acknowledgement, allow it to filter out to everybody else around us. So you already have certain aspects of this with yourself. Can you expand it? And then can you start being that with all the other people around you? And I know for me, I can always be more honoring of people, more in allowance, and more gratitude, and actually more vulnerability. And also trust that people will choose what they choose when they choose. And it has nothing to do with me most of the time. So with that, if nobody has any questions, let's take a quick break. Okay, cool. So we maybe 15 minutes 15 or 20 minutes. Is that okay? All right. So I'll pause the recording. Okay. Clap. I just have to get the habit of clapping. Okay, so sorry everyone, I forgot to look at the chat, so now I have the chat on here. Concentricities. So concentricities are like the circle within a circle within a circle within a circle. So it keeps, the circle keeps like going in and getting smaller and smaller, but it's the same perfect circle. So it's like the same thing, but you look closer and then it's smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, or you get bigger and bigger, but it's still a circle and it's not very flowing. So with all the linearities and concentricities, we're trying to get from having like, you know, that same thing, or that linear where it has to be this and then we follow a certain path. Instead of doing that, you're free to choose, like from a, let's picture it from a sphere, like a ball. You can choose any direction, like that way, that way, that way, from a sphere. But if you're in a linear path, you can only choose one way. If you're in the concentricity, it's still, you know, you choose one point on that circle. But a spherical awareness means you can choose going that way, anywhere from an infinite choice, because it's a sphere, it's round. So that clearing helps us to go from having that linear, there's only one way to go, to having more choice. And what are you aware of? I have to start asking that more. What are you guys aware of? Like from Mel, I don't remember what part you had that comment. Do you remember from the chat?
It was something with, it just sounded like something concentrated.
There's I remember there's the clearing. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can I and my body be to be out of form, structure, significance, out of linearity and concentricities for all eternity, with total ease. Right, wrong, good, bad, for POC, all night, shirts, boys, and yes. So instead of having that only one choice, or you can only choose from one point in the circle, you can have all choice. And Shannon O'Hara likes to talk about it in that sphere. I wish I had a ball. I don't have one right now. Let me see. No ball. But that spherical awareness is when you have all choice and all awareness. And it could be from any direction. I don't have a ball. Otherwise it would be like easier to see. So hopefully that helps. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so Mel, do you remember what we were talking about? with the with your comment?
Oh, well, it was during the anxiety thing and coming back from when something happened. And from that on, I just melted down like,
Okay.
Sorry.
no, it's okay. I think it was resembling from me as well. So I felt the same connection. And same thing happened when Judita asked the question and you were explaining to her. I felt this like butterflies here and like, is it fear? Is it excitement? And I could feel it as if we were talking and being the same person. I don't know how to explain it.
I feel it too. I feel all of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. It's that foundation always brings together the people who can change something. So, um, hmm. I'm looking for my other headphones.
It's amazing, just like an hour and a half here, and we already create so much change.
Look at everybody. Everybody is so sparkling and bright.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I can't believe it. Like, not even the beginning, and we are experiencing that level of intensity because it's intense and yet exciting. So it all these emotions, stirring up, and then it was like, okay, this is good. In the end of the day, this is awesome, because when we don't have the awareness and the knowing that things are being changed, it's scary. Yes, because it comes out, it's totally out of any comfort zone, I suppose, for everyone. So I thank you all for that. I know we are in different time zones. Somebody's in the evening, right? Who is in the evening? It's Mary, right? Mary somewhere is nighttime and it's 7 a.m. We are here in Brazil, 9 a.m. So it's really magical. I feel the magic of this
Yeah,
very intensely. Thank you.
yeah. And that's great. Everybody has that gratitude now too. So yes, thank you for that. It's it really is so amazing. And we would not be able to go into that space and change that if you were not choosing it, if all of you weren't choosing it. Because there would be so much energy that we have to like push through, and I don't like to fight about things. I don't want to fight the energy. We just want to have what's ease. So how does it get any better? Okay, I'll resume the share. And comfortable distance. So okay. So comfortable distance. How many has heard of comfortable distance?
In a general way or like
Yes.
specifically in Access?
Oh, well, both.
Well, just in a general way. I know what the feeling is and I know what the meaning is of like having a comfortable distance from someone or from a situation.
Mhm. Yeah. So, um, one of the ways that Dane described it, the first time I've heard it, actually, he was like on stage and he was talking about you know, his relationship with Gary. So a lot of people think they're a gay couple. They're not.
Yes,
They're just
totally. For the first time I was watching the bars classes, and I asked my facilitator, I said, oh, that's so cool, are they a couple? And she was like, no, they just have a relationship and they kind of share their life together, but they're not. I was like, my goodness, that's so cool.
so so they are business partners and they live together and they share a lot of their finances. And what's great about that is since Simone and Brendan have been stepping up, like they're also sharing. So that it's like all four of them kind of sharing and being involved. And instead of having relationships, now they all have a creationship together where it's all about creation and creating greater together, like 20 times greater, 100 times greater than if they were just to create by themselves. And that's the kind of energy that they're creating, they're actualizing. And that's the kind of energy that they're introducing into the planet. So what if everybody had creationship instead of relationship?
I love that. When I heard that for the first time, I said, that's it. I don't want to be in a relationship anymore with nobody, not even my family. I want to be in a creationship. And that made so much sense. And that it's so much lightness that brings
Yeah.
versus the relationship thing. Because the relationship is like always one is right, another one is not, or trying to, match, but actually we don't have to match. We have to create. No, we don't have to, but it would be better. Right? That's all.
And like when you come together and it doesn't matter how many people it is, when you come together, you always create greater, like 20 times greater or 50 times. And that's the key. If it's not creating greater by the two of you or the three of you or the four of you or the 100 of you being together, then it's actually not a contribution, and it's more in the area of relationship where there's that give and take. And everything that brings up, right, wrong, good, bad, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So, like Mel was saying, like there's that comfortable distance in the world, and how Dane explained it was that every time in the past, himself and Gary would get to a certain point where it was more communion rather than relationship. One of them, one or the other, would start doing the comfortable distance. With Gary, it used to be, oh, I'm going to die sometime. You have to step up and you have to stay away from me. Leave me alone, kind of thing. And then with Dane, he used to create other relationships with women. Like, so he would sleep with women and then and then get into the trauma and drama, and that would actually cause the separation. So at the most recent class that I attended with both of them, they were in so much communion that one person, like let's say Gary, would address a question, and then Dane would finish up with the same line of thought. And it was just so seamless how they would just go from one person and then the other person would just leave off and then take it in that direction. And there's no talking over each other. There's no awkward silence. It's just a flow of energy. And that's how much in communion with each other they are. So what are you using to create comfortable distance from others that keeps you from having all of you? And everything that is time for God's billion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. And having all of you means communion. So being able to interact with let's say, the molecule of this electronic device. If you're not choosing and being all of you, then you're cutting off an awareness to whatever this is, or awareness to some other thing. All of you means all awareness. That means all energies. That means communion with everything. And everything that brings up, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. And it doesn't have to be that, oh, I can read everybody's mind. Who wants to be in everybody's head all the time? No, thank you. Okay, so it doesn't mean that. It could be that you're following the energy. What Dane said recently was that, did we talk about this yet? When you're following the energy, there's no thinking required. So it's just, okay. Okay, so in, this is how I explained that. The other day, I was taking some coasters, like the, to put your drinks on, your cups. So I wasn't thinking, I was just doing it. I was taking a coaster, putting it on the table, and I had 4 of them. And then I put my laptop on top. And then I left. And then 5 minutes later, I hear like sounds. And then one of my kids actually spilled juice on the table. And my computer was fine because I put it on the coaster. So I wasn't thinking about it. And then I was wondering, this is weird. Why am I doing this? And I even said to Jason, I'm putting coasters on the table. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then it was just me following the energy, because that was what was light. I was like, oh, this feels like something I could do right now. This is what I should be doing. And then I was just aware, and there was no thinking involved, and I just chose to follow the energy, whatever was light, no matter how weird it looked. So what if that's all that's required with communion? It's to be able to follow the energy and to do what's required and not separate yourself from other people. And you don't have to be them. You don't have to act like them. You don't have to read their minds. You don't have to be in their minds. You don't even have to be in their reality. You can just be aware and engage with them. You don't even have to engage with them. You can just include them in your world. So everything that brings out, destroy and uncreate it, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. So comfortable distance is one of the ways that you avoid true relationships. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared for the creation of comfortable distance between us and my choosing? And everything that is, times I got sewing, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. What are you refusing to receive that you could receive, that if you would receive it would create no distance between you and total awareness for all of eternity? And everything that is, times I got zillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyonds. And you also create comfortable distance between you and your future, between you and money, between you and ease, and between you and possibilities. Okay, so since everybody is online, if you would like to, you can actually run your bars right now. Just maybe the implant band. Like, hold it right there. Yes, like run your energy and then the implant band until your arm gets tired. Because that's the,
I thought we could just give the command like implant band run for 15
yeah,
minutes. Can be
yes,
done as
you can do that. I find that it does run a little bit more when there's that physical touch. So, well, that's one of the reasons why Gary and Dane say that bars has to be done in person. And although there's some people who claim that you can run bars like from distance, um, that touch aspect does allow you to receive more from the bars. So if you could hold it, or you can ask Implant Band to run. And how many times have you actually walked out in the street, and then all of a sudden you feel some of the points light up because someone walked by and they ran your bars for you, like it just turned on. So that's like that's something that does happen. And when I actually place my hand on it and touch it, it does run more dynamically. And I love receiving bars because then I can just relax and then someone else is running bars. Okay, so what jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals MC squared as only spurning others to maintain the rightness and freedom and separation of you from you are you choosing? And everything that is times the godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, voice, and beyond. So spurning is where you go. I'm not going to be with you. I don't like you. Not at all. I'm spurning you. I'm disregarding you. You are spurned. So in other words, it's a big fuck you. Okay, so how many of you have ever done the fuck you point of view to somebody you know? And somebody mostly who's trying to love you. It seems like we always do that to the people who care about us. And then the other people who are like total assholes, we're just like, oh no, but I want you to like me. we're so special sometimes. And I say that because I do this all the time. So, and how many of you did it to one of those very few people in your life that truly did care about you, that was different than everybody else, that truly desired the best for you, and you're like, no fucking way, this can't be real. They must be lying to me. They really must want something else from me. So everything that is and everything that brought up times the godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right and wrong, good and bad, pun and pock, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Right, wrong, good, bad, pub, pock, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Okay. So look at this for a moment. What you do is you'll have certain people in your life that either push certain buttons or invite certain possibilities. And you always keep them over here because if not, you believe you won't be able to maintain your freedom because they're getting too close. And that's where the comfortable distance comes in. You will not be able to maintain your rightness because you're only right when you have a justified point of view. And with certain people, you can't justify anything, which is kind of amazing. And then you do the separation so you can maintain that distance between you and what is actually possible. And this is one of the major ways that we keep ourselves from actually having people in our lives that will contribute to us, that will be kind and caring to us, that will honor us, acknowledge us, and have the 5 elements of intimacy with us. Okay, so let's do this clearing again. What jails are you using to create the dominance of E equals mc squared as only spurning others to maintain the rightness and freedom and separation of you from you are you choosing? And everything that is comes to Godzillion, destroy and uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, rock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay. So the jails clearing, no, the receiving clearing. Okay. So what am I refusing to receive that I could receive that if I would receive it would create no distance between me and total possibility for all eternity? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, rock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And we're gonna do it for all of for future, money, and ease. So what are you refusing to receive that you could receive that if you would receive it would create no distance between you and total awareness for all of eternity? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, rock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And what are you refusing to receive that you could receive that if you would receive it would create no distance between you and your future for all of eternity? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, rock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And what are you refusing to receive that you could receive that if you would receive it would create no distance between you and money for all of eternity with total ease? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, rock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. And what are you refusing to receive that you could receive that if you would receive it would create no distance between you and total ease for all of eternity? And everything that is times a Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, rock, all nine shorts, boys, and beyond. Whew, that's like intense. Okay. So X-Men. Actually, let me go to the beginning again. Oh, that's not letting me. Okay. Okay, so just looking at the, okay, so backup links we already did during bars. Okay, so let's go with the number 19 because we just have to start moving energy around. It's starting to get a little slow. So, okay, page 19. And these are fun. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. When I first did foundation, we only had up to 10. And that was only 2 years ago. Wait, 2 years? 3 years ago. Okay. So the numbers are about using energy to change a specific thing. So when you're using the numbers, imagine the energy going to your fingertips, and then when you get to the number, you release it. That's what we're doing when we're going like this. Okay. So let's have fun with this. Let's go with money because money is always something that brings up stuff for people, which is funny because it should just be something that you can choose. Okay, so get in touch with how you're feeling, how you're perceiving, sensing money. So when you think about money, like whatever that is, if it's a contraction, if it's a feeling, if it's a limitation, or whatever else it is. And if you would like to change something about it, like if you would like to have more money or have more ease with receiving, or go from having money to creating wealth, whatever it is, wherever you are at, that's just tap into that. And then we'll just look at how it is now. And then after we've done the numbers, if it's different. Okay, so get in touch with that and like make sure you make it really significant and solid, so you really get a sense of how money is to you. Okay, cool. Is everybody having fun? Okay, so 1, 2, 3 is about changing anything from the past. It's about destroying the past. It's also to give Earth the energy it requires from you so it can heal itself. So the past doesn't have to dictate how you choose. So everything you choose in each 10-second increments is a new choice. It doesn't have to be from the past. Okay, so everything you've chosen about money in the past that keeps you from actually creating money or whatever it is that you'd like to create, let's just try and uncreate it with 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And what if we start contributing whatever that energy is to the earth? 1, 2, 3 to the earth, 1, 2, 3 to the earth, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then get a sense of how that is now. Is it lighter? Do you feel more energy moving? And that's really how simple it is to start changing the energy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 opens the door to create a future. So a different possibility. It's about changing the future and creating a different future. So you open the door to a different future. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 to open the door to a new financial money possibility. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Yes, I love your enthusiasm. We can start dancing with a 4. Yes. Ooh, cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is about undoing and erasing the algorithms that you've locked in place when you tried to make yourself a computer. So it's about being an algorithmic interrupt. There you go. So you can't compute to create. Algorithms are what runs all software in your computers, your phones, and your car, and everything else electronic. So if you do less than 5 of this, all of your electronics would be okay. But if you do more than 5, then one thing you can do is put a bell jar. So a bell jar is just, think of a glass jar that people I guess some people still use it now, but it's used to keep food from getting dirt and dust on it, or you can use it on top of cups. So it's just something that's shaped like a bell, and it's a big glass thing, and then you put it on top of food to keep it from getting dirty or getting, or even on top of cakes to keep it from becoming dry. So that's a bell jar. You can put an energetic bell jar on top of all your electronics to keep it safe from doing 5s. You can also put bell jars on top of or around annoying people.
Can you repeat that part? I didn't hear that.
Yes, you can put an energetic bell jar on top of annoying people.
Annoying people.
Yes. So what it does is it just allows them to start hearing what they're actually thinking. So they'll be like, oh my gosh, like they'll just annoy themselves. And then from that awareness of how they're being, they could change. They could choose to change it. Or they could just annoy themselves so much that they decide to go to sleep or something or go away. Anyways, but the bell jar allows them to become more aware of what they're actually doing. So it's really cool. So everybody put a bell jar on all your electronics. So it's just an energetic bell jar. And then, okay. So a question in and of itself is an algorithmic interrupt. Okay, so regarding what it is that you'd like to create with your money, how have you made making money, receiving money, having money, an algorithm or a formula instead of the receiving and the chaos that it could be? So let's change that with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so everywhere that you've created and functioned with money using formulas and algorithms, instead of being in the chaos of creation, let's just try and create that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Cool. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is unlocking the memory of something. When people don't get over something and they keep looping and creating the same thing over and over again, a 6 would be really good for changing that. And it's every time you're not remembering or getting in touch with something that was from the past where you created something. So all the memories that we still have locked about how to make money, how to receive money, how to create money, how to generate money, and create money as well. Let's just try and uncreate that and unlock those memories so we can actually change it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so all the memories that did come up and that we did unlock, anything that's not allowing us to create whatever we'd like to create with our financial world, well, we destroy and uncreate that. Right, wrong, good, bad, for POC, all 9 shirts, boys to be honest. Yes, 6. There you go. Cool. So from doing the first few numbers, how do you guys feel? Like, especially regarding money. Okay, cool. All right, let's keep going. All right, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say light in general. Not sure if it's about money specifically, but feels like a weight came out of my shoulders already. So great.
Yeah. Cool. How much more can we change?
Times and Godzillion.
Yes. And right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all 9 shirts, supposed to be asked. Anything that doesn't allow us to change it. There we go. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is about creating magic. It's about changing the world, being willing to create a world that is different than what exists right now. And you do magic for other people or things or the planet. You never do a 7 on yourself because it'll backfire on you. I've actually never heard anyone who's done it on themselves and how it backfired. But for now, let's just what I like to do is okay, anywhere that a number 7 could contribute on the planet, and then do the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 all over the world. And you only really have to do it once. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is about creating a reality that has never been on planet Earth. Do it sparingly, do it once. So you can create a different reality on one specific thing. And why do they ask to do it sparingly or use it sparingly? It's because when you ask for an 8 to occur, then you have to kind of wait for the energy to start unraveling for whatever it is you wanted to change before you can use it again. So let's do an 8 on a completely new financial reality. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 9 is the energy of death. You can use the energy of death for people or animals who are terminal. So people who are choosing to die, about to die, or have sickness that is decaying their body. So it's really helpful for them because they are able to get out of their bodies and die with ease. So I've also used this on my husband. And what's funny is when he's in that like lower energy where he doesn't want to create anything and he just wants to kind of veg, the 9 energy of death actually kills all the limitations. So as much as, you know, during those times, I just want him to die. It's actually just killing the limitations. And then he's like, wow, I feel like more energy. And I'm like, oh, well, I just gave you some 9s. And he's like, what? So the other one that I like to do is a 19, and we'll get to that when we get to 19. So it's also really funny. So I have a story about that too.
I use 9 on.
What is it?
Can I use the 9 on me? Because I also sometimes don't want to create anything and just feel like giving up.
Yeah, you can use 9. And the thing with these numbers is that actually it just contributes whatever energy is required or that you can receive. Yeah, so it's not, none of these can ever hurt you or go against your choice. It can only contribute. So if my husband isn't choosing to die, it's not going to kill him, but it might make him choose something greater. So unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your point of view. Okay, so
Sorry, just a consideration
yeah.
about 9. It feels
Yeah.
very liberating when you say, like, you know, you can deal with the dying
Yeah.
effect of something that is not serving you anymore. Because
Yeah.
when we think, at least for me, maybe because of old points of view, when it's like something's dying on you, it's just that doesn't bring a good feeling, brings that heaviness. So that to be able to kill in ourselves something that's not working, it's actually
Mhm.
a freeing feeling that I just
Yes,
alleviating. I don't know if that went far.
like yeah, it's like the freeing,
Yes,
and like what you were saying, it's light, it's expansive,
yes,
and it's
and creates space to expand, not creates an expansion, but creates the space for, oh, now I can choose something different because that dying thing is no longer there.
Yes. And can everybody hear how light her voice is when she's talking about that?
I feel
Yeah.
thank you.
Cool. So,
You do once as
oh,
also
go ahead. Yes.
7, 8, and 9. You do only once, or it doesn't matter.
7 and 8, I would just do it once or twice.
Okay, and the 9.
Everything else you can do multiple times. With 5, because it affects electronics, just be aware.
Yeah. Oh no, totally.
Yes.
We don't want to kill our computers.
Yes.
So, without them, we wouldn't be able to be connected from all over the world. So
Yes. Okay. So what about money? Like, or what limitations with money can we now kill? Yeah. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Yes, I love how you're putting like your back into it. Whew, yes, there you go. And how's that for everyone? Better? Yes. Okay, so 10 is changing photon particles or particulates into photon wavelengths. Okay, so I'll explain it a little bit more after I read this. It's creating the photon wave, which can be thought of as the acoustical wave that you are when you are being. Photon particulates are what we created in this reality as right and wrong, good and bad. When you create photon particulates out of things, it's to make your life solid. When your life is less solid, you have more choice. And you also do tends to wake up the stupids. So in physics, they discovered that when you put your attention on a quantum particle, you can actually change the direction that it's headed. And all the other times when you're not focusing or putting your attention on it, it's actually a wave. So you, with your consciousness, is actually changing particles to waves and waves to particles. And that's how you make things solid or appear more solid and real, and how you can change it with your consciousness to something that's more changeable, something that's a wave. So let's do this exercise and then we'll do some tens. So imagine pulling in photon waves and wavelengths into your body. So you're actually pulling in these, instead of having a solid particle, imagine pulling in photon waves into your body. And then notice how, like, wherever you're pulling it, it's actually relaxing those parts of your body. And it's making it more malleable, more movable, more flowing, and more like energy. Okay. So what photon waves and photon wavelengths can we insert into our financial reality that would start changing and shifting and desolidifying it so we can actually receive more and be more and create more wealth in the world? Okay, so get in touch with that and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay. And number 11 is about interrupting the techies in their cycle of action. It's about altering the reality of the techies and altering the reality of the people who refuse to change. It's the destruction of techie reality. It's about taking everything that's been defined as real and erasing it. So techies are the people on the planet who just want to consume everything and create, like, they're the ones who are mining in lands that should be conserved. They're the ones who are cutting down all the forests and burning it. They're the ones who are drilling for oil everywhere. So those are the techies, and they just want to consume the world and create money, and like they have no regard for any living thing on the planet other than themselves. So when we're interrupting the techies in their cycle, we're actually interrupting their cycle of destruction, and we could introduce and invite them to a different reality. So that's what we do when we do that 11th. So for the 11th, what if we tapped into all of the conventional financial industry, like the stock markets, the banks, the big banks, okay? Everything that has a control, and the government too, everything that's controlling money so that money isn't free to flow to everyone. The people who are accumulating so much money when they could be, you know, something that can provide for so much more people and provide, you know, conservation of forests and oceans and lakes and seas and everything else on the planet that would actually allow it to generate and continue sustainably for the next 10,000 years. Okay, so all of those people that we can 11 to change this financial institution and like whatever it is that you're aware of. But 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. Oof.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a limit of 11s I can say a day?
No, there's no limit. Yes. And then that's also when we put the numbers together, like you've heard Dane or Gary or one of the other facilitators say 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20. And that's all about changing the techie reality to create a different and greater reality. Okay.
5, 9, 11, and what are the other?
Yes, it's the 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20. And then you can also add 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20. And yes, it can work on politicians and big pharma. Okay. So 12. 12 is for a different future that has never been, and you can only do it once. It's creating a reality that's never existed. Okay. The thing about this is, even though it says he can only do it once, when Dane does it, he's aware of how many times he can do it. So he actually does it like a lot of times. So, so let's do 12 on changing the financial reality to what you know is possible. Okay. And for as many people required to know that it's also possible so that change can actually occur. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. 12. Cool. All right. So 13. This is what we did a lot of in Global Foundation. So we changed tracks. 13 is about changing tracks. A 13 activates the elementals, and elementals are molecules of consciousness. On the periodic table, they have all the elements. And then there's a section that where they have yet to discover even more elements, and that's where the elementals belong. And they're actually conscious. Okay, so a 13 activates the elementals to change tracks so different possibilities can occur. You don't get to make it the way you want it to be. You don't get to choose the tracks. You just change it. But the gift in that is you can change it every time, anytime. And when we have enough people on the planet doing a 13, it can actually change the tracks of the whole planet.
So that's what we did in February.
Yeah.
I knew it has, because it was right after. It was right after. I was like, something, we are asking for change. Something huge is going to happen. But we had no idea that would be it.
Yeah.
Mind blowing, totally.
Okay. So why don't we change tracks on our finances? Unless you really like how your finances and your financials are right now. No. Okay. So you can change tracks on different parts of your life. So let's change the tracks on our financial world with the 13. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 13, and keep doing the 13 until you get to a light 13 where it's like super expansive, like explosion. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. There you go. Okay. So 14, and this is part of that 5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 16, 19, 20. So 14 is activating the molecules of death in people's bodies. So everybody has molecules of death already. And, you know, even the cells. There's something called apoptosis where the cell actually kills itself. So when people have cancer, that's when that capacity of a cell stops working. So the cells keep multiplying and growing, and that's what creates cancer and tumors and things like that. So you already have molecules of death in your body. It's just to activate it. And again, this is not to harm you or to kill you. It's just to kill whatever is no longer working for you. And when we do it, oh, go ahead.
How is that different than the 9?
The 9 is the energy of death. And then the 14 is actual molecule, like turning on that switch in the molecule for death. So it's similar, it's just really, it's different. So yeah, so one is the energy of death, and then this one is for certain molecules. And with techie bodies, you know, that's why we say 5, 9, 11, 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20. It's about turning on those molecules that are already available in their body. And then also the energy of death, which goes in between the molecules. So it's like a double whammy.
Is it gonna
And yes, what is it?
is
Sorry.
it gonna heal and die?
I'm sorry, it's I'm not sure if it's mine, but you're cutting in and out.
If it's gonna make them ill?
Oh, okay. It might. And that's where the next number is, where it's about change or die. So it could make them ill, so that they could see what they're doing and then choose something different. And that's it's all about choice too. So when you do this on a person, like it'll either kill all the limitations or you know, have that sickness or whatever it is, and then that will allow them to be aware of what's going on or that there is something going on. And that's why when we do a 14, we usually do a 15 along with it. So it's 14, 15. So we do 14, 15, 14, 15. Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you use this change or die for helping someone with addiction?
Yes. And use your awareness too. So I used to do 14, 15s on my husband. I love using my husband as an example because it's funny. And he has been choosing a lot more too. So when I did 14, 15, it didn't have the same effects as doing a 9 or a 19. And we'll get to, well, you can read it on here. 19 is get intelligent or die. I use that on my husband all the time. I say like he's sitting on the couch or the recliner and I'm doing this on him and he's like, what are you doing? And then he's like, oh, I feel smarter. Did you do that number? So it's really funny because it's not like he's saying it. He just like, it's like an awareness, like the light bulb turned on and he's like, wow, I feel smarter. Did you do that number?
And the funny thing is that because you didn't told him, right? You just did the number.
Yes,
and
I'm just going like this, like mwahaha.
Okay, like I feel smarter. So I guess
Yes.
it's just like you don't have to explain, just do it.
Yeah.
And you can do for yourself too.
Yes. Yes.
How many times does it feel like?
Yes. However, until it's light or until you get that light bulb. Oh, I feel smarter.
Awesome. That is the click that Mel said earlier. The finally dropped the coin.
Yes. Oh, how do you say that again?
Finally
the coin.
Caiu a ficha.
Caiu a ficha caiu. Love it.
Cool. I learned something new. Thank you. Okay. So we can do okay, so 15 is about change or die. It's a blessing and the curse that you use for and against you. Revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and create everywhere you have lost death in instead of choosing possibility by changing. So everywhere your body is, okay, so our bodies are made so that we can live longer, right? So if you read the older texts like the Bible, they talk about how people were living hundreds of years in the past. And now we are not living that as long as that. So with 14 and 15, you can actually start changing that. Okay, because somewhere we started choosing death and decay instead of choosing possibilities. Okay, so if you knew that you had, let's say, 300 years, would that change how you looked at money? Okay, so what if we could start creating money from that space? And by changing, you know, choosing instead of death possibility. So let's do 14, 15, and everywhere we've chosen death and decay instead of possibility and creation. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15. Oh, okay. There you go. And number 16 is the actualization of mutation to a different species. That doesn't mean that we're gonna grow like big noses and turn into unicorns. Although that might be fun. It's actually unlocking all the capacities that your body already knows. Okay, so we have already chosen it. You're in this class for a reason. And now the 16 is the actualization of it. So it's whatever energy is required to complete the process. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, to unlock all of the capacities that you already have and you already know. Time for that, Zillion. Okay, cool. So 17 and 18 are the unknown anomalies of possibility. Have you been an anomaly most of your life? So, like, have you been so different that nobody could actually pinpoint, like, where you came from? Would you be willing to create the anomaly of you that creates the possibilities for everyone else? Okay, so whatever you can create, that's a different possibility right now with the anomaly of you being you. Let's do just 1, 17, and 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, yeah.
Only once? 17 and 18.
You can do more, but I found that just once enough. Go ahead.
And also 17 doesn't come separate than 18. I noticed that.
Yeah, it's just 17, 18. It's 17 and 18 are different, like different flavors of the unknown anomalies. So they kind of work together. And Gary hasn't actually spoken more about it. So for now, we just do the 17 and 18.
So the unknown, it will be like oh, excitement for what it's about to come, or it's
Yes.
just stay with the what you don't know and be happy about it, something like that. That's
It's
how I
yes, like whatever you're aware of. And what if for each person they can create a different possibility because of how they be, like what anomaly are you, and then what anomaly is still now or Mary or Martin or Judita or Mel. So whoever is in the 17, 18, whoever they be, actually contributes to something different. So that's why it's unknown, because we can never know like exactly everything that you be and you can create. So everything that brought up about how special and truly an anomaly you be in the world. Let's just try and create right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine tricks, bliss, and beyond. Okay. And then 19 and 20. So 19, get intelligent or die. And 20 is what breaks techie reality. And so every time you watch a politician or a newscast, do a 20. Or for the election in the US, do a 20. So I usually do 19 and 20 together. And 20 also has something to do with VBRs, which are the virtual vibrational virtual realities. There you go. So it's there's a book that Gary talks about. I forgot what it's called. It's about all of these people who are called I don't even remember what they're called, but they're impartial witnesses. So there's like 6 or 5 of them, and they all see something happening at the same time, and they describe exactly what they see. Okay, so they can't assume something or try to figure out what another person is seeing. They just describe what they're seeing. So a vibrational virtual reality is everything that each person's seeing, because it might be different from yours and mine, but they all have something that connects to it, and it's all has something to do with the techies, like a newscast. Like right now, you can be aware that when you watch a newscast in Brazil, they're going to tell a different story than if you were to watch it in the US. There's always that skewed kind of point of view. And it's because they're trying to control you to believe the virtual vibrational reality. And it's different. So everything that's bringing up, let's just try and create it. Okay. So all the control that we're giving up and all the awareness we're giving up in favor of mainstream media, will you just try and create it, please? There you go. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine tricks, bliss, and beyond. So all of the control and all of the awareness that we're giving up in favor of believing mainstream media, will we destroy and create all of that and actually own our awareness? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine tricks, bliss, and beyond. Whew. All right. So 19 and 20, because also the get intelligent or die is owning our awareness and what we know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 19, 20, 19, 20, 19, 20, 19, 20, 19, 20, 19, 20, 19, 20. And the 1920s is a very fun era.
It also get intelligence or die. It's also very similar than the 9.
Yeah.
But not the same.
It's not the same.
And it's not the same that this one, and also another one which is very similar.
14.
14.
Yes.
So you
Okay.
do the 14, 20, and 19, but not
Yeah.
9. Can you do 9, 14, 19, and 20 or?
Yeah, you can you can mix and match the numbers and just use your awareness, ask some questions like, okay, what would this create, or is it light?
just make sure that you're killing all of them at once. That's kill everything and all the molecules and everything that doesn't serve anymore. So we can just put these four numbers together and just like,
Yeah. And then, there's also the 5, 9, 11, 14, 19, 20, which has like all the numbers.
5 and
Hmm.
11. Say it again,
Yeah.
please.
5, 9, 11, 14, 15, 19, 20.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all of the numbers. Now, remember how you were in the beginning before we started the numbers? How are you now? I think everybody has a little bit more energy. And I think we're all fine. How's everybody doing? Good. Whew. Okay. Definition of words. So every word you say creates what happens in your life. You wish to eliminate the following words from your vocabulary.
Which page is that? I'm sorry.
This is page 21. Okay. So why is the Y in the road, and you'll go in a circle if you keep asking why. Try. This is the word that I use all of the time. So I'm still working on this. Try to stand up. No, you either do it or you don't. You don't try. Whew. Okay, so need. If you think you're needy, you'll always go to greedy and you'll try to hold on to everything you've got and you become a hoarder eventually. So, sorry. Okay, every single need you have is an invention that you have created to justify a point of view that you have. What invention are you using to create the needs you are choosing? Everything that is time for God's billion will you destroy and create it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, popcorn, lunches, voice, and beyond. Whew, I only lost when I said hoarder is because my mom is a hoarder. So when I go to her house, there's so much stuff there. And that you'll always go to greedy and you eventually hold on to everything you've got and you become a hoarder eventually. So,
The meaning of this word, I don't understand. I'm sorry.
hoarder.
É acumulador.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So yes, someone who accumulates everything. So, I wish there's a show in the US that Gary always recommends to everybody who has these tendencies to actually watch, and it's called Hoarders. And it has like all these houses where they collect so much over the years, so much items, and it fills the whole house, so you only have maybe this much space from the ceiling, and you have to climb over all of the things just to get to the different rooms.
Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, so if you ever watch that, run your bars. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there was a clearing that came. So now it came back. Okay. So everywhere you've chosen to be a hoarder of energy, whatever that energy may be, instead of allowing it to flow freely and to flow greatly, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, papaka, nine shirts, worth in the answer. I might have been clearing that for my mom. Phew, that's intense.
For us,
So,
for us in the call.
so everywhere you've been hoarding energy, instead of allowing it to flow freely and to flow greatly, and that means flowing to you or flowing from you, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, online shirts, boys, and beyond. Whew. Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Is there a number that we can add into that clearing just to like
To use the number?
your die, maybe the 9?
Yeah.
So I
Do
choose
we want to?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
Ooh, that's fun. Cool. Thank you. So, want. Want means to lack. If you look it up in an old dictionary prior to 1946, there are 27 definitions of want as to lack. And only one sets to desire, the last one. So every time you say I want, you're saying I lack, which means you are going to get I lack of this. So that's what shows up in your life. Okay. But it's the only thing you should sit on and not something you should talk about. Oh my gosh, I learned the word bunda. Is it? Because there's a joke. I don't know. I think it was Matt who told me this joke about abundas, abunda dance, the abundance dance, except it's the abunda dance. Okay, I'm glad that it still translates, kind of.
Makes so much sense. Yeah. So if
So
you don't take your booty part, you don't have abundance, which means you don't shake your bunda.
yeah,
Take it. That's it.
abunda dance. There you go. Everybody who is not on camera, you're not adding to the fun. How dare you guys? I'm just kidding. So bunda, bunda, correct? Bunda is your butt.
It's really cute. You're speaking here. You're speaking this.
I'm probably saying it incorrectly.
No, you're just saying perfectly, but it's funny on your accent. I love it.
Okay, so but when you say but, you are undoing everything you just said. So don't say but, shake your butt. That's all we were trying to say with that abunda dance. So never does not exist. Never is a conclusion and a judgment. So all the definitions you have of why, try, need, want, but never, will you now eliminate those as the necessity for communication? Everything that is times a Godzillion, destroy and I created all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shirts, sports, and beyond. So in other words, remove all of those words, never use them again. You can use but Only when you're talking about butts.
Deal.
Okay. And next, language. Oh, this is
have a question.
amazing.
In relation to like, I remember when I first did the foundations, like, oh my God, this is it. I'm gonna definitely eliminate those words from my vocabulary. But when it comes up, can we just destroy and discrete pot and pocket?
Yes.
That will
And then
help the process of recognizing that you said it, but you didn't mean it. So it's like pot and pocket, some numbers maybe. I love the numbers. I just feel a potency on the numbers together with the clearing. So I feel
yes. And that's why sometimes you see like Dane or someone go like this, like after saying a clearing, and they're doing a number, but they're just doing it in their head.
awesome. We're just gonna be doing the same.
Mhm. So you could just go like that. And there's also, if you don't know which number to use in a situation, Dane came up with this. It's really funny and really easy. You just go 1, 2, blah. Whatever energy is required, 1, 2, blah.
Which will be the 3, because you
Yeah.
know, changing that, right? Smart.
So you can also say, like, when this clearing, all the definitions you have of why, try, need, want, but never will you now eliminate those as necessity for communication. Everything that is said for that zillion, destroy and uncreate it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine truths, voice, and beyond. 1, 2, black. There you go. So, what would it take to never have to use those words again, or never have the definition behind those words again? Everything that brings up right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine truths, voice, and beyond.
We actually just used the word never. So also destroy and discrete that, or no, really? This is actually
You can.
this is actually when we want to use ever, because the intent is like to eliminate it and to change it for all eternity, times and godzillion.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine truths, voice, and beyond.
Yes.
And the only reason why never is on here is because you can always change something. And what Gary is trying to create is more choice and more awareness. How many times have we used, but why do we have to do this? Like, and it's automatic instead of consciously, okay, if I ask the question why here, would it drive that person crazy, and will that person start choosing something different? And that's the difference with using it to create something greater versus just, oh, I say try all the time because that's just what I say. And I'm not really aware of what it's creating. Whew. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nitrous, voice, and beyond.
1, 2, black.
1, 2, black. Okay, so what are you creating with the energy of the words you are using? Okay, that's what we were kind of talking to. See, we're already going through the whole book and we don't even have to read it.
Amazing.
We're still gonna read the processes. So what energy, space, consciousness, and choice, magic, miracles, mysteries, and possibilities can you be to be transliterate with all languages again for all eternity? Awesome for translators. Don't run this ever. Everything that doesn't allow that times the godzillion will you destroy and create it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all night, church, bliss, and beyond. Transliterate means you get to see how every language somehow is translatable. So that's when you hear what someone's saying in a different language, and then in your brain, you understand it. And then somehow you can communicate with them, even though you're talking in two different languages. And I see this so much with children, younger children, because they just play with the other younger child, and whatever language they're speaking, it seems they already understand. Yeah. So, and that's also why they learn languages so quickly.
This is so beautiful. The communication that could be used by with animals and plants, for example, because you emanate some kind of energy and it translates to the being, right? The animal or the
Yeah.
plant, or you know, those that are very sensitive, and then the communication between them or us is actually creates some kind of magic in the environment.
Yes, that's so true. And it's very interesting. I'm really into this. I thought, oh my goodness, we're going to analyze words and language. This is going to rock my world. And it's true because I really have this facility with language and understanding. So I speak flora as well, I speak to the plants. And yeah, it's just this natural flow. You just understand. Here in Búzios, there are a lot of Argentinians, and I see Francisco playing with them, and they are speaking Spanish. And Francisco is like almost 3 years old, and he's communicating in Spanish, or like I don't know what language he's trying to talk, but he gets the communication. He knows how to get the message and send the message, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it has so much magic in there, right? And that allowance, when we just don't judge if you're not understanding, or you are,
Yeah,
when there is no judgment, that
exactly.
energy starts expanding and creating without you even noticing. When you see, it's like, oh, it's already there. It's really magical. That's the word for me.
Yeah. So, how many of us have always known and understood and communicated in all languages, especially when we were younger? And what if you could acknowledge that and have it now again? Everything that does not allow that, destroy and create it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine tricks, boys and beyond. And when you do see small children and you see how much they communicate either with words or even without words, you noticing it and being aware of it, what if you also have that capacity with you? And what would it be like if you actually had more of that showing up in your life? Anything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, lock, all nine truths, bliss, and beyond. What energy, space, consciousness, and choice can you be to be so fluent and transliterate you never have a problem again for all eternity? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and create it all, please. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, lock, all nine truths, bliss, and beyond. Energy is the ultimate source of language. So with energy, you can communicate anything. Ooh, money. I think we're gonna start with this tomorrow because we have about 20 minutes left. Okay. X-Men. It's really short. Let's see. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, it's all the way up here. Oh, it's past. So X-Men. Since we are talking about children, we affectionately call kids with autism or Asperger's X-Men. So these are kids who don't like to be touched, who don't like to look you in the eye, who are not much interested in communicating. They don't have right brain and left brain function. They have a whole brain function, and they don't see the world the same way that others do. So you cannot appeal to their logical mind because they don't have one. If you try to show them reason and justification and be rational with them, it will never work. Autistic kids read your mind and communicate telepathically. They don't do increments, they do whole day. You have to give them the entire picture of the entire day. So how much energetic awareness do you have? How much capacity do you have to communicate with things energetically that you have tried to cut off or you have cut off? And how much energy have you used against you to do it? And everything that is times the Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. So how much energetic awareness do you have? How much capacity do you have to communicate with things energetically that you have tried to cut off or you have cut off? And how much energy have you used against you to do it? Everything that is times the Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Okay, and what energy, space, consciousness, and choice can you be to be the beyond this reality X-man or woman you truly be with total ease? And everything that doesn't allow that, times the Godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all, please? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. So how many of you are actually X-men or X-women and you've never acknowledged it? And that doesn't mean that you don't like to be touched or you don't like to look people in the eye. Maybe you do. Maybe it doesn't mean that you're not interested in communicating. Maybe you are interested in communicating, but you're just interested in communicating with animals or plants more than you do with people. Okay, so everywhere you haven't acknowledged that you're actually an X-man or an X-woman, will you destroy and uncreate that, please? And claim and own and acknowledge whatever potency and capacity you have. And everything that is, times the Godzillion, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Phew. Okay, so how is everybody?
Cool. My internet failed for a few minutes, but I'm back.
Yes, I think, could it be because, which part did you hear? Did you hear about acknowledging whether or not you're an X-man or X-woman? Okay, cool. And how much more ease can you have if you actually acknowledge that you are different and you might process energy and people and things differently? So if you didn't have to use all of your energy against you, how much energy can you have available to create and to actualize things? Okay, and everything that is right, wrong, good, bad, POC, all nine shirts, boys and beyond. Okay, so if nobody has any questions, we can end here for now. Get your bars on, everyone.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be here the same time, 7 a.m. Eastern, which is 9 a.m. Brazilian time. I thought it was 8 a.m. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And so that means it is 8 p.m. in the Philippines. And then I have no idea what time it is in Europe.
I think it's 1.
1? Okay.
Today was
So-
better.
Yes. Okay. So all the different time zones.
Where
How
are
does
you, Judita? Where are you? In Spain? In Spain?
No, in Czech Republic.
Yeah. So how does it get any better? We're changing everything all around the world. Okay. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. And this time, don't forget the tissues. Okay. So bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much, Miss Annie. Thank you, everyone.